Neosho's citywide garage sale is said to be the state's largest, with people coming from all over to shop. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with the impact that this has on the community.
The House votes to make pot legal. Now what will the Senate do? I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. Joplin police have identified a body found yesterday and say there's now another death in this case. Police yesterday were investigating a missing person case at a home at 2201 South Jackson when they found the body of 54-year-old Donald Weimer of Joplin inside. Authorities say Weimer had a gunshot wound, so his death was being investigated as a homicide, and they knew of a suspect. Then they received a tip that the suspect was at a home at 2201 South Empire. Police say the suspect wouldn't leave the home, so Joplin SWAT used chemical munitions. During that time, they could see a fire coming from the attic, heard a gunshot from inside the home. When the fire was under control, officers found a body in the attic. Authorities are not releasing the suspect's identity at this time. Suspects in a stolen car fired shots at officers during a police chase in Carthage, Missouri. Authorities say the chase started around 3 this afternoon when officers spotted a truck stolen out of Oklahoma. During the chase, one of 2 suspects in the stolen truck fired shots at officers' patrol cars. The chase ended when the truck drove through some fences, rammed into a Jasper County patrol car, then right there drove into the creek near Fairview and County Road 170. The suspect with the gun then ran, was later arrested. No officers were injured. The suspects were Johnny Crowles of Sacramento, California, and Michelle Lucas of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Crowles is charged with assault on a law enforcement officer, resisting arrest, property damage, and armed criminal action. Lucas is charged with second-degree tampering, also resisting arrest. Meteorologist Doug Katie joining us now. Cool day, but the sun was out today.
Yeah, sun was great to have, and it was at least a lot better than what we've seen over the past couple days. So that is nice. 64, normal high 65. Cold start. Had a pretty good freeze during the morning hours, down to 29 degrees. But the clouds are thickening up. You can see some light showers starting to increase in our far western counties, and these extend out across central Kansas, down through Oklahoma. The heaviest rain by far is going to stay to our south, but we are going to get some showers in here, maybe even a thunder shower as we go through the overnight hours. Temps still pretty good. We're sitting into the mid-50s right now. We're going to look at the weekend here in just a bit.
Doug, thank you. Every year, the city of Neosho, the Flower Box City, hosts a citywide garage sale. It's said to be the biggest one in Missouri. It draws in people from all over the 4 states. KOM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with vendors and attendees about how this event impacts the whole community.
Traffic in Neosho was busier than usual on Friday. So much busier that school was canceled due to buses physically being unable to get around town.
It's something that our community plans for a year in advance, and so part of that planning cycle is looking at our school calendar and making sure that our schools take that day off so that the city can navigate around those bus routes.
Because students weren't in school, a few Neosho Junior High cheerleaders used the day to fundraise for their team. While they weren't getting their normal lesson plans, what they learned volunteering their time was just as impactful.
I'm learning life skills instead of just learning ELA and science and math.
It's teaching me how to be more respectful to other people.
And they don't call it Missouri's largest garage sale for nothing.
That's awesome, cool. I mean, the traffic's a little annoying once in a while, but it's a good chance to get out and exercise.
We've talked to people so far this morning from Fayetteville, Arkansas, so they're even coming up from Arkansas. We've talked to some people from Kansas.
Michelle Wilson travels an hour each way from Golden City to Neosho to set up shop every year just for this event.
We came with a 26-foot U-Haul trailer stuffed, and we started at 4 o'clock this morning.
The yard sale is so big that she prepares for it year-round.
I bring so much stuff home, my husband says I got to get rid of it at some point. Sometimes we think we get things and we think, oh, we can take that to Neosho sale, and then sometimes we just clean out our homes and stuff, and it's a mixture of everything.
And while you may think an item is worth throwing out, the sale gives those items a second chance. In Neosho, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
The citywide garage sale will continue tomorrow. A local history teacher is getting the chance to learn a few things himself. Jonathan Holtz teaches over at McDonald County High School. He was chosen to receive lessons from National History Day's historical argumentational webinar series. In the program, Holtz is going to learn how to use the resources of the Library of Congress to research a chosen topic. For Holtz, that topic is the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 and its impact today.
It's being able to, for the students, it's being able to make those different connections in history of how something can happen at one point in history, but then affect 2 or even 3 historical moments, down the path.
Holtz is one of 120 educators from across the country enrolled in the program this spring, and the only one from Missouri. Officials and employees of the city of Joplin today came together to send off Public Works Director David Hertzberg as he enters retirement. Hertzberg has served the city of Joplin for more than 40 years. He began his career as a part-time employee working in the city's sign shop and held several positions before serving as director for the Public Works Department for nearly 15 years.
I guess on the national scale, it was the tornado that probably was rewarding, and was noted what we accomplished during that tornado and the redevelopment from that, and so that stands out in me in that part of the time.
Hertzberg announced his plan to retire a little under a month ago, and a big congratulations to you, Mr. Hertzberg. Another retirement celebration, this one over in Pittsburgh for PSU President Dr. Steve Scott. Special program today looked back at his time as president from the perspectives of family, community, and colleagues.
Today, this celebration is really about what we've accomplished together over the last 13 years. The speakers were a really important part of that. Not only that they were complimenting me, which it felt really good, of course, but they've been a part of the success. It's been their contributions that have made these things happen.
As Mr. Scott said, Dr. Steve Scott's time at Pitt State will come to a close after 13 years as PSU president. Congratulations to you, sir. President Biden saying the economy is on the move as the March jobs report shows a surge in hiring. Still, though, many Americans are pessimistic about the economy and skyrocketing prices. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera is in Washington with reaction to the latest jobs numbers.
Hello, nice to... Vice President Kamala Harris is touting the Biden administration's efforts to help small business owners. Crucial, they say, as stores like this fabric shop in Mississippi work to recover from the pandemic.
I've been in business 27 years.
My goodness. President Biden says his policies have helped Americans get back on their feet. The latest jobs report showing 431,000 jobs were added in March. The unemployment rate dropping to 3.6% from 3.8% the month before.
More and more American workers have real power now to get better wages and to do what's best for themselves and their families.
But with inflation up almost 8% from a year ago, many argue they're actually getting a pay cut instead of a pay raise.
People are getting poorer because prices are going up so much.
Friday's jobs report is likely to bolster the Federal Reserve's case to increase interest rates several times this year as it tries to cool spending.
I do think we're going to continue to see a real struggle here for the Fed in order to bring inflation down.
March marks the 11th straight month with more than 400,000 jobs created. We haven't seen a streak like that since 1939. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
The House passed a bill today that would legalize marijuana on the federal level and get rid of the criminal penalties that go along with it. Now the bill heads to the Senate, where a vote is expected later this month. Fox News reporter Caroline Shively reports now from Washington.
If the House of Representatives gets its way, this will no longer be a federal crime. On Friday, the House voted to remove marijuana from the Controlled Substances Act list and sent the bill to the Senate.
We are here today to vote to get America high.
That's the way most House Republicans seem to see it.
And what are Democrats doing today? Legalizing drugs. Legalizing drugs and using American tax dollars to kickstart and prop up the marijuana industry.
But Democrats call comments like that scare tactics.
It's like they saw reefer madness in middle school and never got over it.
If passed by the Senate and signed by the president, the bill would drop some federal penalties and also invest in areas hard hit by the war on drugs. But House members disagree on whether those communities would benefit.
The war on drugs disproportionately impacted Black, Latino, and minority communities, and they tore them apart with a very targeted incarceration strategy.
What's worse, we want to target those individuals and communities who are historically most impacted by the harm of illegal drugs and provide federal funding to help enable criminals to open and operate now legal drug businesses.
Even if the bill becomes a federal law, it can still be a crime in individual states, depending where you live. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
KOM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another four-state hero. Jay Russell has served in the U.S. Army, native of Arma, Kansas. Russell was stationed in Saudi Arabia, also Iraq, earning several awards. We are proud to thank and salute Sergeant First Class Jay Russell. He's tonight's four-state hero. Doug Hady's next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, Missouri Southern softball hitting the field for a doubleheader against Nebraska Kearney. Gonna have those highlights in sports.
Imagine yourself.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a much better day for us today. The past couple days kind of stunk. Today, pretty good. We saw the sunshine return, 60s returned. Remember yesterday, we couldn't get above 40 degrees, and then we dropped to 29 last night, but a nice rebound into lower 60s during the afternoon hours today. And still, temps pretty good even right now. Most of us are sitting into the 50s, 53 in Nevada, Neosho 55, Miami 57, much of the same in Pittsburg, Parsons, also Independence. So it looks good. We have these light southerly winds kind of helping our temperatures stay fairly warm or mild for us outside right now. It looks good. 7th and Rangeline currently sitting at 56. Easterly winds are light. Humidity starting to come up as we have a weak wave, which is going to rotate through tonight. So the clouds have increased. You can start to see some showers picking up in our western counties, and you can see this wave. It covers a decent amount of real estate. It just doesn't have a lot of energy with it, but we are going to see some scattered showers across the region. So some very light, maybe little sprinkles starting to pick up in our western counties. A little bit more once you get over toward Wichita, but most of the heaviest rain is going to stay down across Oklahoma. You can see a pretty good batch to the west of Oklahoma City, heading over toward Tulsa and then into northeastern Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas. That's where the heaviest rain is going to be. It's not even going to be heavy, maybe upwards to 1/4 of an inch. So our southern counties will get the most rain. But this wave rotates by out to the west. We have a nice patch of nothing that will give us pretty good weather for about a day and a half, and then things will start to change. All right, let's go through time. Here's 11 p.m., so a couple hours. Still the light showers starting to pick up. Then we get a batch of showers, and there could be a couple embedded little thunder showers. Nothing strong, nothing severe. We don't have to worry about that tonight. And then the other good news is here's 7 a.m., so if you're getting up early, rain is out of here. We're going to have the clouds in the morning, and then sunshine returns by the afternoon. Very similar to what we saw today, temperature-wise. 61 by noon, high temp is 66, northerly winds light at about 5 to 10. Clear skies tomorrow night. We drop back into the 40s for overnight lows. And then Sunday, a lot of mid and upper level clouds, but a good day. We go into lower 70s during the afternoon. But Sunday evening, here comes a cold front. Scattered thunderstorms start to pop up. Here's 6 p.m. Let's go to 8:30, advancing a little farther southeast. Get into most of the metro by 10 or 11 p.m. Batch of thunderstorms roll through. These could be stronger. Not anticipating severe at this time, but something I want to keep my eyes on as we go through the next 2 days. 66 tomorrow, 71 on Sunday, 60 with showers on Monday. Chance for thunderstorms again Tuesday afternoon, then a little bit cooler second half of the week.
Yeah. I thought those cooler nights were behind us, but you know.
No, we're still going to get some freezes and frosts.
Okay. All right, Doug. We'll keep seeing a little bit. Thank you so much. Coming up, another battle in the war.
An oil depot missile strike on Russian soil may complicate negotiations between Moscow and Ukraine. In Lviv, Ukraine, I'm Alex Hogan with more on this story coming up.
White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki is leaving the White House for MSNBC. Fox News confirmed today that Psaki is leaving the Biden administration. However, no deal has been signed just yet. She reportedly is going to be leaving her post in the coming weeks. The White House has not commented. A missile strike at an oil depot near the Ukrainian-Russian border leaves at least 2 people injured. Russian officials say Ukraine is responsible for the cross-border attack, while Kiev has denied any role in this fiery incident. Fox News correspondent Alex Hogan has the latest from Ukraine.
At least 2 people were reportedly injured following a massive pre-dawn blast at an oil depot in Belgorod, Russia. Russian officials claiming the attack was conducted by 2 Ukrainian helicopters. Ukrainian officials have not confirmed the incident. Video footage from the scene shows rockets hitting the oil depot as it goes up into flames. A Russian news outlet says 8 fuel tanks were damaged and more than 200 firefighters were dispatched to put out the massive blaze.
The attacks on the Russian territory, they just reflect the real intention of the Ukrainian side.
The attack on the depot comes as negotiators from Russia and Ukraine resumed talks on Friday. Russian troops have retreated from areas surrounding Kyiv, but Pentagon officials remain skeptical, saying the Kremlin is regrouping rather than de-escalating.
The best assessment we have, and it's an assessment at this early stage, is that they're going to be repositioned probably into Belarus to be refit and resupplied and used elsewhere in Ukraine.
As the war stretches on, British intelligence officials claim some Russian soldiers are sabotaging Moscow's war efforts. This comes just days after reports that Putin's inner circle has failed to brief him on the full scope of his military failures in Ukraine.
Putin has already lost. Putin has damaged himself through a series of catastrophic misjudgments.
Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky demoted 2 of his own generals during a speech on Friday, calling them traitors. In Lviv, Ukraine, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Still had even higher meat prices in many parts of the country.
Inflation has already forced the price of meat higher, but now analysts say expect to see the prices of pork and chicken skyrocket. I'm Lydia Hu with the Fox Business Network. Coming up, I'll explain why the price of chicken could surge by as much as 70% this year.
Ashley.
New forecasts detailing a, quote, substantial rise in meat prices as some business owners bracing for more pushback from consumers. Fox Business Network's Lydia Hu is at a New Jersey butcher shop with more.
We usually think of chicken and pork and ground beef as the more affordable protein options, but analysts now warn that there are price surges on the way. The prices of pork and ground beef expected to skyrocket 20% this year, for chicken as much as 70%. This comes as the national average prices for these proteins are already higher, between 3 and 16% over a year ago, and now increased prices for animal feed around the world, corn, soybean, wheat, caused by Russia's invasion, will force prices even higher. Pork and chicken are particularly susceptible to the increased animal feed prices. 50% of the cost to produce pork comes from animal feed. About 70 to 80% of the production cost for chicken comes from animal feed.
If it got outrageous like the beef did last year, then I'd be concerned and your chicken would back off. They wouldn't be buying it.
Now, as far as preparing for these price hikes that are expected to come before June, Butcher Vinny here recommends buying pork and ground beef and chicken in bulk and freezing what you can now. Reporting from Scotch Plains, New Jersey, Lydia Hu for Fox Business.
Next, a special birthday party for a special dog. Puts a whole new meaning to the whole thing. They had a ball. We don't talk about Bruno, except for tonight. TSA is talking about Bruno. One of their trained canines now celebrating retirement. Look at that smile. After more than 2.5 years of working as a trained passenger screening canine at the Daniel K. Inouye International Airport in Honolulu, Bruno is saying aloha to his working dog years, settling into retirement. Look at all those balls. The pup's celebration included a showering of love and more than 100 squeaky tennis balls from his human co-workers. Bruno's retirement. Look at that cake. Bruno's retirement is well-deserved after keeping travelers safe, of course, by screening thousands of people and belongings for potential threats. Happy retirement, Bruno. It's the only time I'm going to talk to you about you, by the way. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. Going to learn about a proposed sales tax increase meant to help a local sheriff's office. Plus, celebration for a small business development center. Next week, voters over in Barry County, Missouri are going to decide on a sales tax increase to show support to the growing needs of the Sheriff's Office. Reporter Michael Van Scoek breaks down the ballot proposal.
Competitive pay is tough across any industry these days, and it's certainly no different at the Barry County Sheriff's Office.
We have 2 municipalities in our county that pay more than us, and so you have a lot less room to cover there, and they get paid more money. I mean, why would you not go do that?
But Sheriff Danny Boyd wants to make the job more attractive to new recruits.
We're trying to get our wages up to comparable to the larger cities in our county to help keep these people here and to get us more officers here that are better qualified.
Boyd says the tax increase would help do that. The proposal is a 0.5 cent tax increase, amounting to 50 cents per every $100 spent. It would also apply to purchases by visitors and tourists.
That will help where the citizens Barry County is not funding that themselves.
The county says it could generate $2 million a year. Getting back to full staff is a priority for the sheriff.
We would like to go beyond that. If this passes, we'll be able to do that, because right now we usually have 2 officers on per shift. We would like to have 3 per shift. That gives us better coverage for the county, which is better response time, and it's better protection for the citizens of Barry County.
It could also mean new training and equipment, including firearms, body cameras, and tasers. There has been some pushback to the increase, but Boyd says it mostly stems from new jail concerns.
This funding for this does not affect getting the new jail. None of that money out of this, our law enforcement fund, can go towards any of the construction of our new facility.
Sheriff Boyd says his team may have to adjust operations if the proposal doesn't pass. I spoke with some voters today. Some said they do support that sales tax increase. Others said they don't, and a few said that they're torn due to tough economic times right now, but still supporting law enforcement. From Barry County, I'm Michael Van Scoek.
That election is next Tuesday. We're going to have updated election results for all of the area elections on our website, KOMNewsNow.com. Missouri Southern's Kappa Sigma is sleeping outside for a good cause. The fraternity is raising money for homeless veterans in the area. Through their No Sleep for Soldiers campaign, they're hoping to bring awareness to the struggles of veterans and their families. All proceeds are going to be going to multiple nonprofit organizations that help veterans.
A lot of them don't get the recognition they deserve, and a lot are forgotten about. So I like to help people in any way possible, and that makes me feel a little bit better about what's going on in these days.
Kappa Sigma is going to be on the corner of 7th and Duquesne Road until tomorrow afternoon. We've provided a link to their GoFundMe on our website. Again, that's KOMNewsNow.com. Missouri Southern celebrating 35 years of helping small businesses develop and grow. The university today held a ribbon cutting to mark the 35th anniversary of the Small Business Development Center. The center provides one-on-one counseling with business owners on topics like finances, customer service, online security.
Small businesses are the ones that add jobs and add to the community at a greater rate than larger businesses in town. So we need a strong small business community to continue the strength of the backbone in our community.
The center is located inside MSSU's Plaster College of Business. Some musicians from Los Angeles are making a stop in Joplin. Las Cafeteras is described as a group that creates vibrant musical fusion with a unique East LA sound and positive messages. The group did a workshop and performance at MSSU today and are going to perform again tomorrow.
Doing a workshop all about building bridges through music, bringing people together from different cultures, and how music can really bring those people together. And even though they have so many differences amongst them, that music is that underlying thing that just brings them all together, and they can all relate through it.
Las Cafeterias is going to perform tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. at the Joplin Empire Market Courtyard. Admission is $25. A bit later, the renewed push to become less reliant on foreign countries for oil. Going to visit Midland, Texas.
Well, it turned out to be a nice day for us today. Temperature is fantastic, way better than what we have seen, at least over the past couple days. Remember, yesterday we couldn't even hit 40 for a high. We were also in the 40s on Wednesday, and then 60s for us today, which is always nice to see. And we're going to have pretty good temperatures as we go into the weekend as well. Mid 50s to upper 50s to near 60 in our southwestern counties. Our southerly winds kind of keeping our temperatures up just a little bit. They're going to be light, but they're going to be out there as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. 7th range line. Currently, we do have clouds increasing. We're sitting at 56. Humidity, 45%. Pressure is dropping, 29.98 inches of mercury. You can see a few showers increasing in our western counties on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. Most of us are dry, and these are very light showers, but you can see this little wave, which is going to rotate through for us tonight. At least it's going to come through at night. It's going to be gone by morning, which is great. All this is not reaching the ground. Now, once you get out into our far western counties and then into northeastern Oklahoma, we are seeing those showers kind of reaching the ground. Back toward Wichita, a little bit heavier when you get farther south. So we're looking at Oklahoma City, right up I-44 to Tulsa, a batch of showers and some thunderstorms, nothing strong or severe. And then these extend into northwestern Arkansas. So this band's just going to shoot on through. You can see our wave right in here. It's going to pull on by, and then we look pretty good for about a day and a half before our next system rolls in. All right, let's go through the overnight hours. Our best shot for scattered showers, maybe a thunder shower, about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. These are mainly gone by 6 or 7. We are going to have some clouds in the morning, and then we break out. We see mostly sunny skies and temperatures very comparable to what we saw today. 46 to start, 61 by noon. High temp right around 66 during the afternoon. Tomorrow night, clear skies. We drop back into the mid-40s once again. On Sunday, we're going to have a lot of mid and upper level clouds, but overall it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a little bit more on the windy side as we have a cold front that slides in Sunday evening. With the front, so let's go to about 8 o'clock, showers and thunderstorms erupt. These will push farther southeast. Here's 10:30. Let's go to about 2 in the morning. You can see the I-44 corridor, and then just showers lasting into Monday morning. These storms could be a little bit stronger. Right now they don't look severe, but something I'll keep my eyes on as we go through the weekend. And then we get on the colder side of the system, so just plain old rain by the time we head into Monday. 66 tomorrow, 71 on Sunday. 60 with showers Monday, chance for thunderstorms again Tuesday afternoon. A little bit cooler for us the second half of next week.
So the weekend overall, pretty good.
Yeah. In general, it looks good.
Doug Eddy, thanks so much as always, man. All right, coming up in sports, Pitt State baseball opening a series at home against Central Oklahoma, plus a pitcher's duel in Joplin. Missouri Southern opens a weekend series against Fort Hays State. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Pittsburg State Gorillas have won 16 of their last 19 games and are currently 14-3 in the MIAA. That 14-3 conference record has them sitting in second place behind only undefeated Central Missouri. Pitt State at home tonight, looking to stay rolling in their series opener against Central Oklahoma. And down 5-1 in the fifth, Cruz Aranda starts the double play. Mason Hartman turns it. Gorillas out of the inning. Central Oklahoma also showing off some glove work in the field here. Hartman looking for the gap in right center, but look, Landon Wood, great diving grab. Game stays 5-1 until the 7th. Now bottom 7 here, Garrett McGowan fights it off into left. It gets down to score Cade Clemens. Pitt State gets 2 in the inning to get within 2. But bottom of the 9th, UCO able to end it with a strikeout. Gorillas drop the series opener this evening 5-3. Missouri Southern baseball also at home tonight. They host Fort Hays State for game 1 of their 3-game series. Scoreless in the 4th, Jacob Davis 3 up, 3 down with a strikeout there. 9 total strikeouts in the game for Davis. Then Lions up 1-0, but Fort Hays State, runners on 2nd and 3rd. Chayton Beck gets the out at home to preserve the lead. The Southern adds some cushion here in the 6th. Case Tucker, Lamar Kidd lifts it out to center. Nate Miskowski slides home. Tucker safe in there at 2nd. Now very next batter, it's Henry Kuziak. Puts a good swing on this one. 2-run blast to left for Kuziak. That doubles the Lions' lead. Southern hangs on to win a good one, 4-0.
When we're not getting runs, obviously it's important to match them, and Jacob was able to do that until we were able to kind of, take the lead. And so Henry obviously had a big home run, and that kind of, you felt like you could breathe a little bit after that. But I mean, the key is getting guys on base and getting a hit when they're in scoring position. And we were able to do that.
Pittsburg State softball is at home today for a doubleheader against Fort Hays State. The Gorillas have been the best offensive team in the MIAA so far this season. They lead the league in batting average, hits, runs, doubles, and home runs. PSU looking to keep the bats hot today against the Tigers. And here's game one, third inning. Sarah Tiffany drills one to left for Hayes. 2-run double for Tiffany. Tigers up 3-0. Now that Pitt State offense I was telling you about kind of struggled in game one. Savannah Egger, great in the circle for the Tigers. Complete game for Egger, allowing just 1 run, 8 strikeouts, including that one there to end the ball game. Gorillas drop game one 5-1. So game two now, Gorillas try to rebound and earn the split. The offense finally gets going. 2 on for Taylor Lambert in the second. Lambert clears the fence in left center. 3-run shot. The Gorillas take a 4-2 lead. In the next inning, we're tied at 4 until Keela Griffith gets a homer of her own. Solo shot puts Pitt State back up 5-4. Adding to it later in the inning, Corey Stonestreet back up the middle with the bases loaded. 2 more runners score. Gorillas push their lead to 7-4. More Taylor Lambert in the 5th. Opposite field again for the solo homer. She picks up 4 RBIs in this one with the Tigers rally in the 7th to take down the Gorillas and sweep the day 9-8. Missouri Southern softball is 4-4 in their first 8 MIAA conference games. The last time out, they dropped a pair of tough games to 4th-ranked Rogers State, and they've lost 7 of 9 coming into the day. Southern trying to get back on track at home this afternoon in a doubleheader against Nebraska Kearney. A straight to work here, Leighton Withers knocks one out to left. That's good for a double. 2-run score for the Lions. Then Kara Amos shoots it back up the middle. Withers scores from second to make it 3-0 home team. Moving on now to the 6th. Southern leads 8-3. Withers smashes a solo home run to center. Her 5th of the season. Southern leads this one all the way through, taking game one 9-3. Game 2, Lions trying for the doubleheader sweep, and they would get it, winning 3-0. Leighton Withers, another homer, 6th of the season. A 3-run shot provided the only runs of the game. Bailey Lacey throws a complete game shutout with 8 strikeouts, allowing just 4 hits. And that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Is it going to be Midland or Moscow? That's what people in the Texas oil industry are asking after Russia invaded Ukraine. Now, industry leaders are putting more emphasis on domestic oil production rather than relying on foreign countries to heat our homes and fill up those gas tanks. Fox Business Network's Ashley Soriano reports from Midland, Texas, a region where 50% of all the United States crude oil is produced.
I'm at an oil drilling site in the Permian Basin in West Texas. It's the epicenter of domestic oil production. The winds are strong out here. You can really smell the oil coming from that drill. This is exactly what West Texans are used to. They're also used to ups and downs in the oil industry, but the pandemic and its domino effects have created a unique situation.
That is the lifeblood of our economy.
Henry Resources is an independent oil and gas producer in the Permian Basin. Their drilling is a 24/7 year-round operation, producing around 10,000 barrels a day of crude oil, and they need at least 100 people to run a single rig. Yet 50,000 employees in the region were laid off during the pandemic. Henry Resources says they've been lucky to keep their staff, but other companies had to shut down some of their drilling rigs in 2020.
The oil and gas business is very cyclical, and the pendulum tends to swing very hard from one side to the other.
Oil producers' ideal situation would be selling crude oil at high prices with low operating costs. Right now, crude oil prices are high, but operating costs are also high. They're also dealing with supply chain issues and inflation.
Inflation affects our industry as much as it does everyone else, whether it's milk and eggs for homeowners. It's also for the industry.
Even with these challenges, the Permian Basin is operating at near historic levels of production, about 5 million barrels a day, and drilling permits increasing year to year. Yet the profit just isn't there for producers.
The idea of having oil in excess of $100 a barrel sounds good at first blush, but all of the associated activity on the manufacturing side of things or transport side of things, fuel charges, all have risen as well.
Kirk Edwards is the president and CEO of Latigo Petroleum. He had plans of drilling up to 14 new wells this year, but he decided to pause the process because the cost for him has doubled.
We're trying to see the supply chain, where those things are. We're just kind of sitting back and seeing if things settle down.
Some of the bigger oil companies like Chevron and BP will testify before Congress next Wednesday on the record high gas prices. Some of these independent oil producers I spoke to want people to know that they're not responsible for the gasoline prices at the pump. Instead, they sell the raw oil to refiners who then sell it to gas stations. In Midland, Texas, Ashley Soriano, Fox Business.
Coming up, a look at what's new to those big screens and at-home streaming. Superhero action, musical comedy, horror thrillers. It's part of this week's new releases, and Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has a preview.
What have you done?
A Marvel character introduction heads to screens this week with Morbius, with Jared Leto as the anti-hero superhero who, in his search to cure a rare blood disorder, unleashes superhuman powers and a dangerous thirst.
Are the anti-heroes more fun to play, would you say? And why is that?
I think so, because there's a complexity. It's really hard to play just to play good. You know, that's a hard thing. I wouldn't know how to do that. I would be terrible. Some people are so good at it. I like the rub between good and evil. I like the conflict, the nuances there.
They shoot us up and spit us out.
The action thriller The Contractor, starring Chris Pine, is in theaters on digital and on demand. Pine stars as a Special Forces sergeant discharged from the Army, working for a private contractor, racing to uncover a conspiracy and fight his way back home. Supernatural horror flick You Won't Be Alone with Noomi Rapace is in theaters. Set in 19th century Macedonia, the film follows a child transformed into a witch who takes the form of a peasant in a nearby village, then continues to utilize her powers, discovering what it means to be human.
They're making Lilo and Stitch a Broadway musical?
Disney Plus adds a musical comedy, Better Nate Than Ever, about a 13-year-old with big Broadway dreams.
They're keeping us here against our will.
Netflix has The Bubble, about a cast in a pandemic bubble at a hotel trying to finish a film.
I want to do this.
And audiences can see the Apple TV Plus Best Picture Oscar winner Coda in theaters again.
I've never done anything without my family before.
A re-release of the drama is on screens in over 600 U.S. locations with open captions. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Going to leave you tonight with a video again of TSA dog Bruno celebrating a retirement in Hawaii. Have a great, safe weekend. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.